Hello, my friends, and welcome to this installment of my cooking series. Today, I just wanted to show you a brief video on how to make Chinese dumplings traditionally. So you start off with a head of cabbage, and actually because I'm using smaller portions, this is about half of a head of cabbage. And depending on what else you want to put in it, you're welcome to put in some cilantro or some spring onions. I don't like those things, so I'm going to go ahead and leave them out. You'll see how very simple this recipe is. And add in a pound of ground pork. If you want some filler and you want to make a bigger batch, you can always add in another pound of either ground pork or ground beef, and that would also help if you wanted to add like the entire head of cabbage. I don't know if you can tell from this picture, but you're going to want to mince that cabbage really tightly. From firsthand experience, I'm going to tell you that you do not want to use a food processor to chop or dice or mince your cabbage. You're going to want to use a knife and just chop, chop, chop and have at it. This way you'll actually save all of the juices that you're chopping into it. I ran this once with a food processor and let me tell you, it did not taste very good. So what you're seeing here is actually me adding my sauces in, and these sauces are going to be, bear with me just a moment here. Okay, I think I've got this as big as I can get it. Okay, so the sesame oil, the soy sauce, and vinegar. And what you didn't see me add off to the side, off camera, is some MSG, because Chinese cooking, any kind of cooking, you want to add the MSG. Okay. And then you hand mix it all together until it is pretty evenly combined. Okay. Now for the wrappers, you are going to need water and flour. That's it. And you're going to make it into an elastic ball, pretty much nice tight consistency. Okay. And so what you're going to see next is me actually rolling some long tubes of the dough, and then we're going to cut little pieces off. And then you hand roll and flatten the pancakes into little wrappers. I don't buy pre-made wonton wrappers or dumpling wrappers. Whenever I make dumplings, I always make my own wrappers. It's nothing more than flour and water. There's no salt in it. There's no baking powder, baking soda, sugar, anything else. It's just flour and water. So I cut a small clip of video so you can see this. And I'm going to go ahead and roll out one and completely wrap it for you. But normally what we do is kind of an assembly line. So you see those little dollops of dough. I would normally roll them all out together. What you're seeing here is I'm rolling the edges only. Okay, and you want the edges fairly thin. And then when I'm fully done, all the way around, I give the whole thing a once over to kind of flatten everything for a smooth surface. But you want the middle a bit thicker because you're going to double up on the edges, or triple or quadruple up, and you'll see what I mean by that. When we put the filling in the middle of our wrapper, you want a good dollop. I use a small teaspoon to scoop it out. Some people use a melon baller. And you wrap from the middle to the middle, front to back, and you pinch it closed. And then you accordion fold it over. Okay? When I was a little girl and I was learning how to do this, I used to call these my little prairie girls, because when you're done, it should look like a little girl's head inside of a little spring bonnet, just like in Little House on the Prairie. So just to show you that one more time. And you can definitely add more or take a little bit off with your scoop. My spoon here. I'm just trying to get a nice full filling there without going overboard. So pinch it in the middle, and then you accordion fold it from the outer edges to the inner edges. And when you're all done, it should look like a little girl in her little spring bonnet riding on the wagons, the covered wagons out west. There you go, my little prairie girls. And I like to create these beforehand, and I put them on, this is a pizza pan, but you can put it on a cookie tray, put it in the freezer. Once they're frozen, you can take them off and put them into a Ziploc bag, and you can pre-make as much of this as you want. And when you're all done, you throw them into a boiling pot of hot water and let them come to a boil. I like to add cold water twice, so you let it come to a boil 3 times. And when you fish them out, there are your finished dumplings. So that is pretty much it. And if you guys want to see more, I can definitely do a longer video from start to finish. But that was just a sample of how traditional Chinese dumplings are made. Thanks a lot. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, and you might see more tidbits like this from me. Thanks. Have a great day.